feel like a little toxic is good.
You need that to keep things like exciting. When things are like too perfect, like, oh my God, everything you say, it's like, yeah, whatever you say. So they never say no to whatever you say. I think that's a red flag. When people actually, they're not appreciative of things that you do for them, that is one of the things that I hate the most.
All girls care about money, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
I think it just, because every time girls say, no, I don't care about money, I just want a guy who's ambitious. What do you mean
you can't control
other
people's situations, you know? So
Yeah.
if they get in a relationship and everything is beautiful and then all of a sudden it turns out really bad for them, I might lose two people that I really love.
90% of women are terrible because they don't actually understand girls' thought processes. Her car like stopped working and then she had to someone stopped, they couldn't help her, and then she had like walk to the gas station, like all this stuff. And the reason her car like broke down is because it ran out of gas, because she didn't have enough gas in her car. And I'm like, you're blaming the moon for not putting gas in your car? Like, it's not working because there's no gas, not because Mercury is retrograde. Like
Do you agree? The happy wife, happy life?
No.
Good.
It's like, what about, it's called self-esteem. Like, you have to be happy too. Like, you both have to be happy.
You both have to be happy. Absolutely, yes. That's why marriages don't work sometimes. It's not all about the wife. It's also about the husband. Like, I have to care what my husband wants and what makes him happy. If I don't care, someone else will care.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans. First of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been having some crazy growth over the last couple months, so we couldn't do it without you guys. Today we have Esther on the show, amazing violinist, DJ. And Esther, why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, where you're from, what do you do, and how about your star sign?
Of course. Well, my name is Esther Naya. I'm a DJ, singer, violinist, songwriter. I am from Colombia, and I'm a Leo.
¿Hablas español?
100%.
No
puro español.
Mi exnovia fue de Venezuela y
¿Oh, sí?
la otra de Colombia, entonces.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry for you. Everybody said that.
Well, the thing is, I always end up dating Latina girls and Asian girls. It's not it's not a choice. It's not like I pick them out. It's just we end up clicking or whatever. My friend said it's because I'm a little bit toxic.
You know what? Latinas are toxic. I could talk about Latina because I'm Latina, so I fall into the thing. But not all of them, they're that crazy, you know?
But here's the thing. I feel like a little toxic is good.
You need that to keep things like exciting, I think. Like you need some, because otherwise it would be.
Like you ever date a guy and it's like on paper, everything works. Like, it's like, man, like he treats me right, buys me flowers, I bring him home to mom. You gotta marry this guy, he's so amazing. But you're just bored.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, man, like get me out of this thing.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
At some point in my life, I did. And it was like all fake, like the perfect relationship, it does not exist. So red flag, if it's like that, run away because there's something wrong.
What's your biggest red flags?
I think, when things are like too perfect, like, oh my God, everything you say, it's like, yeah, whatever you say. So they never say no to whatever you say. I think that's a red flag because it's like trying to compliant me and trying to like just fake it just so that I won't never get mad. I think lies, obviously, I could tell a lie like this, you know.
People.
I pretend I don't remember things, so then, so I could catch people in lies and then later I'm like, oh, no, I do remember you did that.
Like,
so they wrong. Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
But I think those are like the major, and cheap, obviously, those are things that you never change. Once cheap, always cheap, no matter what.
I know some rich ass dudes, cheapest I ever met.
Really?
I'm like, you have a good ass job and you're like skimping on like when you split the bill.
Yeah.
And normally it's just, well, I don't know because you're a girl. I don't know how often.
No,
you
but
like split
I
the
mean,
bill. But like with guys, it's always like, oh yeah, we just kind of split it. Like, oh, you got like one extra drink, whatever, we split it. He's like going through the receipts and he's like, well, in my Excel spreadsheet, I did not order any of the appetizer. I only had one shrimp, and he's like calculating it. Like, bro, just you're rich. Just fucking pay the extra $2,
I know, that's crazy. I'm
crazy.
like, I think I've seen that before in like a group dinner where like, I think it was like someone that literally said like, well, I did not eat any of the appetizers actually. So they didn't put that much money. And I was like, at least do it because your friends are there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just split it. Unless you're really having, some financial issues. No, we don't know that.
And that's the thing is like, I don't mind paying for things when it's appreciated. I just don't like to feel like it's like people expect it. That's what bothers me.
You know what? It is true. When people actually, they're not appreciative of things that you do for them, that is one of the things that I hate the most. You don't have to tell me all the time, but there's so many ways that you could show people that you're appreciative. Here and there, I'm like, I send flowers to my friends, the ones that have done like beautiful things for me. And like sometimes I like, send a couple of things. That's the way how I show love. I buy things for people because that's like the way. I'm not the other person that is always saying like, oh, you look nice, words of affirmation. There's other ways.
You're more gift.
I'm more gift, I like to buy things for people. So I always try to show them that I like, I'm appreciative for their friendship and everything they do for me. I
heard gifts is the biggest red flag.
Really?
Someone said if their love language is gifts, he's like, you turn and you run.
Really? They don't know what they're talking about.
Because he's like, oh, that means they're like gold digger, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, not definitely. If they have money to buy it, why would they be gold diggers? They're the one buying it.
I see it. So you buy gifts for other people.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I like getting gift too. So it doesn't make me a gold digger.
No, I'm not saying. But here's the thing. I do think all girls care about money. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
I think it just, because every time girls say, I don't care about money. I just want a guy who's ambitious, right? And I'm like, okay, so you want a guy who's going to have money someday. You know what I mean? It's like he's ambitious. Eventually he's going to have money. And I'm like, here's how I can prove it to you actually. Okay. That it's not ambition. It's actually just money. Let's say you're dating a guy, right? Making 30 grand a year, doesn't make any money, right? But the most ambitious guy you ever met, right? He wakes up at 5 a.m. every day. He works 10 hours as hard as he can on the Rubik's Cube. He's like, I'm going to be the best Rubik's Cube master of all time. He's like twisting the little thing, right? And then you like Google like salary of best Rubik's Cube player of all time. It's like $35K a year, right? And then you're like, babe, come back to bed. He's like, shut up, babe. He's like, blue, yellow, red, green. He's like doing the Rubik's Cube. Are you going to date that loser?
Oh, definitely no. I would probably not be in that situation ever. I would have caught that before.
See, you're at least honest about it. Because some girls are like, no, yeah, that would be cute. I'm like, no, you want to get the fuck out of here.
No, because I would support it. Would I date the person? Definitely no. Could be my friend, yes.
Yeah.
There's like different type of relationships.
Friend zone.
Yeah, if you need my help at some point, I'm terrible at it. But it would not match my compatibility of personality of a partner. Yeah.
Are you a good wing woman? Like you can like hook up your friends?
Oh, yeah. And it went really bad because they would start fighting and they would not talk to each other and I would be in the middle. So I'm a really good wing woman and I try like matching a lot of people to learn my lesson.
What do you mean you learn
your
lesson?
You can't control
other
people's situations, So
Yeah.
if they get in a relationship and everything is beautiful and then all of a sudden it turns out really bad for them, I might lose two people that I really love. So I don't like introducing two people that I love. Could I be a wingman at a party and try to like with someone that I don't know? Absolutely, yes. That's my answer, yeah.
I have a story about that.
Tell me.
90% of women are terrible wingmen because they don't actually understand girls' thought process, I think. Okay,
so tell me, like,
one time,
what happened?
Okay, we're driving to this party in Malibu, right? I'm driving. My buddy's girlfriend's like, I'm giving her a ride. She's in the seat next to me. I'm telling her all these like funny stories about like my villain era when I used to be a fuckboy. Now I'm very shy and romantic. I used to be a fuckboy, right? So she's like laughing at all these stories. She's like, Zach, I'm going to be your wing woman tonight at the party. It's going to be so much fun. I'm like, dear God. I'm like, please don't. I'm like, this is just a fucking recipe for disaster, right? So I'm at the party and I was so mad at her. I was talking to this cute girl. We're like vibing, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she comes up. And she's like, oh my God, this is the guy I was telling you about. And she has this girl with her. The girl's like, not even cute. I'm like, first of all, you're bringing like this like
oh my God,
not that cute girl over. You're kind of interrupting me when I'm like with the girl I actually like. And then she says the worst thing you can ever say to wingman a guy. She goes, he's the nicest person ever. He's such a great guy. You should. And I just saw on both the girls' face at the same time, I just saw any level of attraction just shrivel up into a fucking raisin. I was so pissed. And then the ugly girl goes, aw, cute. But in a way like, aw, little puppy dog.
Like I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I was like, you just destroyed my chances with both these girls. You just kamikaze fishing in.
Oh my God.
But then.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
This is why I think things happen for a reason. Because I actually turned it around because I'm really smart and intelligent. So later that day in the party, this is like 4 hours later or something. I'm sitting on the couch with this other girl, right? Talking to her, blah, 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 blah. This good looking dude comes up. Male model looks like really good looking. Sits down next to her. And you can kind of feel when like, okay, he's trying to swoop in and like steal the girl. You can kind of like feel that energy. I'm like, this motherfucker, right? So at one point he gets up, goes to get a drink. He's going to be back in a sec, right? So I turn to the girl. I look at her and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Mike. He's the nicest guy ever. Such a sweetheart. And I just watched that attraction shrivel up like a raisin. And I'm like, no matter what the universe does to me, I take that negative and I spin it positive mindset, baby. You can't stop me.
That's a great way of doing it. Do you keep the girl? What happened?
I got her number. Okay, I don't know. I don't think we ever ended up like hanging out or anything.
That's hilarious. I've been a bad wing girl too. I just realized that because of what you said. I've said that before.
Because girls, they think, oh, girls want the nice guy. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Unless maybe you're like a supermodel and tall and like just like super good. But even then, girls are like, oh, he was so hot, but he was boring, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's like way more to, I think like everybody's so different when it comes to dating. There's like different things that you look for and different people. Some girls love the bad guy and everything. I can't put up with that shit.
Really?
Oh, hell no.
What's your type?
Oh, no. Completely transparent. Like someone that is just like themselves and they don't try to impress me or, someone that is just like real. Like someone trying to be like a bad. Not at all. Not every guy is a bad guy.
Oh, you're saying if he's trying to be a bad guy.
It's trying to be. Yeah, or playing the game or this and that. No, definitely not. Like, I don't have time for that, But some people like to like suffer. Some people like to like, oh, it didn't call me back. I'll call you back. This and that, It's not me.
I don't know if I believe you. So I feel like girls always say that. And then I'm like, okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Last 5 guys you've hooked up with. Are they nice guys or are they bad boys?
Oh, well, the last guy I am with, actually, I married him. So he was definitely a great guy.
Okay.
So, yes.
Gotcha.
I found a great guy.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So he's a great guy.
Yes.
What is the traits he had going for him that you were like, okay, this is the guy?
So what I loved about him was that he was never trying to impress me at all. He was just like himself, and he actually made me feel super comfortable when I was around him. So meaning that every time I would take him with me, we were just like getting along super well, and I put my terms and my rules
terms and conditions
how a good Colombian Latina does, and he did not try to be sneaky about it. He just like, I deal with it. It's cool. So when you see that someone has tolerance and could walk the extra mile, is worth sticking to, Like, don't try to fuck with me because it does not work. So, yeah.
Is he also tall and good looking?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that explains.
Taller than me, tall enough for me, and I think it's great looking.
That makes sense then, because this is what I always tell people. Because, okay, here's what's destroying dating in Western civilization. It's these teen movies that keep coming out.
I don't even watch them anymore.
Oh my god!
Which one?
Here's every movie, every single. They're all the same. There's this like really good-looking masculine guy, 6-pack abs, like a good-looking male masculine guy, right?
Uh-huh.
But in the movie, they always make him into like the biggest asshole, right? He's like pushing kids into he like pushes the wheelchair kid down the stairs, like a huge asshole, right? And then there's the little simp boy that rides his bird scooter to class and with a little helmet. And like at the end of the movie, it's always like, oh, the girl just falls in love with this little simp guy. And then, but the problem is the simp guy in the movie.
Yeah.
It's always like some really good looking guy, like a male model, but they put glasses on. They're like, look, he's ugly just like you guys. And it's like, no, he's not ugly. He's a supermodel with glasses on. And that's why he got the girl, because he's a supermodel, not because he's being like overly nice and blah, 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 you know?
Well, you know what? I'm going to kind of like disagree with you a little bit, because I have a group of friends that are super, super hot and intelligent, and they all married guys that are not the best. They're probably going to hate me after they see it.
A lot of girls like ugly guys with good personalities.
They're not ugly, but they're just not better looking than them.
But here's the thing.
Let's put it that way.
Here's the thing. If you're not good looking, okay, this is what I noticed, because like I've worked in the modeling industry for a while too. Not as a model.
Yeah.
I know, surprise. But typically when girls are like 18, 19, 20, that phase, I call it the hot guy phase. They're always dating the TikTok guy with the
totally.
hair, six pack. But the most beautiful girls, by the time they hit like 22, 23 and on, they're always dating some like average looking dude. Like
totally.
Some dude that like looks like he'd like fix the HVAC in your house or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're just like really charismatic or really successful or really established. Confident. Just like they walk in the room, everybody looks at them.
Exactly. Totally, because they learn their lesson, Not everybody. I'm not saying that every model, super good looking guy is like that, but it's just like a high percentage, of them. So.
Well, and it makes sense, because I'm like, okay, the reason I work so hard at all my shit is because like, okay, back in high school, like I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know my hair, like, I don't
How was your hair?
I don't believe in karma.
You don't?
I don't.
Oh, shit.
Because where's the karma for my mom for that haircut she made me wear in high school? It was like a bowl. It was like you basically looked like you took a bowl and cut around it. It was the worst shit ever. And her karma never hit. She's been living out her great life this whole time. I love her to death. But her karma never hit.
It might come to her.
There's going to be a lot of karma coming for that haircut, man.
That's like, why did our parents did so many bad things to us? Like dad. Me, I had one just like that. I think probably around the same, year. But she did something called the mushroom. And she cut my hair like this. And then I had one little long string in the back. Oh, man,
that's cringe.
It was bad. And I don't remember if she got karma or not. But that was terrible. I hated it in my whole life. And I was like, Mom, do you even loved me when I was younger? I was like, do you see how you dressed me? Fluffy, everything.
What the were you thinking?
Pink and all this. And I was like, I would never do that. You could, like, if she was to do that right now, she would probably go to jail for that, because it was not good.
So did you have trauma from that experience?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. From that, I have many traumas from her dressing me up. If I was like, I don't know, like a muñeca de trapo or something. That's how we call it when you have those like dolls and you do everything to them.
That was you?
She used to do that to me when I was like younger.
That's tough.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I had such a great sense of style. And I was like, yes, Mom, absolutely not. Now she does.
You're like,
thanks to me.
You helped her.
I helped her big time. Now she's like very fashionista, thanks to me, and I'll take that. I taught her,
Did you go to therapy to get over your trauma?
Oh my God, no. I think life is enough therapy for me.
You're the first girl who's ever agreed with this for this topic with me. Really? Every other girl is like, no, more people guys need to go to therapy. Zach, you should go to therapy because you're toxic, blah, 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 blah. And I'm always like, I don't think, okay, I don't know what it's like being a girl, right? I've never had this much hormones and like things mixing in my brain, and I feel emotions very strongly, blah, blah. I'm like a guy, like something happens, I'm like, all right, fix the problem. You know what I mean? So
every guy is like.
But nowadays, the Gen Z, the Gen Z, like the little 21-years, everybody's being taught, oh, boo, are you okay? Go to therapy, blah, cry, wah. Like they're being taught, like, it's not your fault. You just need to go to therapy and like forget about your problems instead of like manning up and fixing the problem, you know?
Totally. How are we going to do it in like 20 years from now? I don't even know who the president is going to be. This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be
crazy. You know what was my therapy? Growing up, the chancleta. You know the shoe, the big shoe? Every time I would do anything bad that I was not supposed to do, my mom, when I was younger, she would throw the freaking shoe from one corner to the other. And that was I didn't have to go get my brain fixed or nothing. That made me tough. And I was like, you know what? I'm proud to be, the way how I was raised because it made me tough,
Yeah. And that's how the girl I dated from Venezuela, same way.
Yes.
You know what's interesting? If you look at the statistics of like mental health, right?
Yeah.
The richest countries have the worst mental health issues of all the countries. Like if you take like Venezuela, nobody is depressed. You know why? Because when you're 5 years old and your family runs out of water and you have to walk 5 miles in the sweltering heat on a Android phone to the local well and just pray to God there's water. When your girlfriend breaks up with you, it's not that big of a deal. Like you're gonna be okay. Yeah. But nowadays these kids, it's like if you lose the basketball tournament when you're 5 and you're crying, wah, wah, they go, oh, little boo-boo, little Gen Z, here's a participation trophy. Here's a trophy for getting last place. And they just grow up coddled in this little environment,
Yeah. Do you think it's like the parents' fault, the school system? What do you think is like the most influential on that? Because I see it happening around, but do you think it's like the parents the ones that it's like the most?
I think it stems.
Or school.
It's both parents and school, but it all stems from this whole like narrative that's kind of being like pushed in the media nowadays of just like being overly tolerant of everything.
Yeah. I'm like, I would kill myself. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like growing up with everything that it's right now in like accessibility, like media, all this is like so overwhelming that if you don't really know how to create like a barrier or create like something that, this is my limit, how you could affect me, it's insane. Because I like the way how I grew up most of my life in Colombia and moving to the United States, it was like very harsh, but social media was not as strong as right now. But like seeing how like everything is like so perfect and everybody wants to have the perfect body, the perfect this, the perfect followers of being famous and all this, that is insane. I'm like, wow,
It's really crazy. It's so crazy too how much I see girls like tricked by fake clout.
Oh yeah.
It's like sometimes I'm like, do you have brains in your head or are you dumb? Like I cannot tell you how many times like I'd be like at the club.
Yeah.
One of my friends would come up, hey, can this guy come to the table? He's Drake's manager.
Oh my God.
And I'll do
dropping.
One Google search. I'm like, yo, that's not Drake's manager. I'm like, are you dumb? Like, what do you mean? I did one Google search. Like, it's not that hard to figure out.
Oh my God.
You know what's crazy? I've heard girls come up, Zach, I just met the owner of the club. He's asking if he can get a drink at our table. I'm like, wait. You were telling me the owner of the entire club wants my permission to grab a drink at the table that he owns? I'm like, he's not the owner of the club. What are you talking about?
Definitely not. Oh my God. That is so fun. You know what? I fell for it one time. Now that you're saying that.
What happened?
I had a show in Miami and I was with my manager, my team and everybody. And all of a sudden, these two guys come. You remember? These two guys come and they're like, oh, I work with Rufus Du Sol and blah, 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 and this other guy. I'm like not even paying attention, but they somehow managed to be in my table and the DJ booth because they talked probably to my team and everything. They believed them. And then I was like, and they were like, oh my God, we should get them to collab. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden at the end of the night, I was like, who are those two guys? It's like, oh, they work with X, Y, and Z. And I was like, bullshit. I was like, bullshit. They don't. They would not be here like begging. No, they'll be with the owner.
Yeah, they would be at the best table already.
Yeah. So I was like, now that you mentioned that, I was like, now everybody's someone, Watch out for those.
You want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
So one of my friends, she starts dating this like videographer, right? And she's like telling me about him. She's kind of bragging about him. She's like, yeah, he has 500,000 followers. She's like bragging. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, I'm like, let me see his Instagram. Go to his Instagram. First post, it's like 3 likes, 2 comments. Next post is like 7 likes, like 3 comments. I'm like, yo, this guy's followers are obviously fake. And she's like, totally. Oh my God, I didn't know. But the crazier part, the next week, like a week later, I hear her talking to one of her other friends. I overhear it. She's like, yeah, I just started dating this new videographer. And she goes, he has 500,000 followers. I'm like, you know it's fake. You know it's fake. You just don't care. You just want to be able to like brag to your friends that you're dating a famous person.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
That is so crazy how like now social media or like, oh, how many followers you have, like it's so influential in like who you date. Mm-hmm. It's insane. Like I'm like, I don't remember really care. For me, I don't care for it. I'm like, the least you have, the better. And the more private, the better, you know? Probably because we're like in the scene and we're more like public. I'm more attracted, you know, my partner is more private and it's like no too much content with, you know, social, you know, and I love it.
I don't want my girl going to Drake's party. Are you kidding me? Like, fuck, I don't want my girl in the scene. Like if I follow a girl and we have like 0 mutuals, I'm like, this might be the winner. Exactly. If I see like 22 mutuals, I'm like, she's in the scene. She's been around the block a few times.
Exactly. You know? I'm like, that's a red flag right there.
If you're friends with the people I'm friends with, those fucking degenerates, that's a red flag.
Exactly. Oh, totally.
It is kind of funny.
It is hilarious. You know, I like never, that was one of my things. Like, how many friends in common? Okay. And I never gave him my Instagram right away. That was like my thing. When I was like dating scene and everything, I would like hide my Instagram from like, you know, the people so they would not know first and then they will find out, whatever, you know, because it kind of like changes a little the dynamic. I think, you know how you say like girls might like be like, you meet a girl and then she probably doesn't know who you are and then finds out who you are, you know, or vice versa, whatever, you know, so it kind of like changes the dynamic. Like it's better to be more organic, whatever if it is, you know, that a number on social media, I think doesn't make you more attractive or, you know.
Oh, no, I tell girls right away. Know. I make sure they know right away. I don't give a Maybe that's why I end up in toxic relationships. That's probably the reason.
That's probably why.
Maybe I should lead with that.
You're like, no, let me, you know, that helps me, so why not? You know?
I just pretend to be a poor person at first. I pull out like an Android phone. I'm like, hey.
You do that.
I text with a green bubble.
Oh, God, I hate the green bubble.
Ooh, interesting. I always argue with my friend about it because he's like a big Android guy. Oh, the specs are better, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no. I'm like, I think that's a deal breaker for me. Literally.
I don't blame you.
I'm glad because that green bubble is like annoys me. I have only few
fucking
people.
Up our group chats.
Exactly.
Like nobody wants to use your fucking WhatsApp group chat. Like we stay on iMessage like adults, you know, like grow up. We'll start a GoFundMe. We'll get you an iPhone, you know.
They're such a rebel. It's like, I think it's more like political than like, you know, economical at this point.
Pretty much.
They take it too serious.
Yeah, but Instagram is interesting. Have you ever been catfished?
Catfished.
Do you know what that means?
Yes. Okay. I think, you know what? I don't think I got to that point. You know, I'm very good at, and I will take that. I'm very good at feeling people. Even if I don't see you from far away, the way how you answer, you write to me or something, I could scam it. So I did not because I'm so good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I did help some of my friends to, you know, to kind of like, you know, when they were like dating or even friends that they have that were completely catfishes. I called it from the beginning.
You caught him red-handed.
Yes.
Like, hey, these angles are weird. His abs look photoshopped. This guy does not look like his face.
Everything from like anything, like dating to like fake friendships to people that you just like, I've called it from the beginning and nobody believed me until like now everybody believes me. Yeah. But it took me a couple of tries to prove them, you know. But yeah, have you? Many times.
Well, no, I'm very good at reading now too. I can spot Facetune like a shark. Oh. Like back in the day, no, but like living in LA, I'm like, it's that very just polished, the lighting is perfect. I'm like, yeah, that's Facetune.
Oh, yeah.
But I did get lifestyle catfished one time. This was like early COVID. Like, remember when everybody was blown up on TikTok in like 2020? Yeah. So I started dating this girl. She had like 1 million TikTok followers, right? every weekend. Fucking yacht, private jet, Tulum trip, Lamborghini. Like she was in all this shit.
That's a sponsor life.
But this is the crazy part. So every time we hang out, she'd be like, oh, I'll come to your place, which is like pretty normal. Usually girls come to my place instead of vice versa. But, you know, after a while, I'm like, yo, you drive through traffic all the time. She lived in the valley. Like, you have to drive here. I'll come to your place. I'll, like, make it even, you know, every so often I can come there. She's like, nah, it's okay. And I'm like, that's sketch. So one time I finally go to her place, and it's in the valley. And the valley is like, have you seen Lion King, the movie Lion King?
Yeah.
You know Mufasa's up on Pride Rock? And he's like, Simba. And he's like, everything the light touches is your kingdom. And then he's like, the dark, shadowy areas, it's dangerous. There's crackhead hyenas, never go there. That's like the valley. And she lived in the shadowy area. There's like bars over the windows in the houses. There's like feral children like scurrying around the sewers. Like it was super fucking sketch.
Really?
So I go into her house. She's like, oh, let me give you the tour, right? We open this door. I'm like, oh, this is like a nice walk-in closet. She's like, this is my room. I look down. There's just a mattress on the ground, no bed frame, not even a fitted sheet. It's just like a flat sheet over the top of the bed.
No way.
I go like this, I can touch both of the walls. And the worst part, you're not going to believe this. We started watching Hulu on her laptop because she doesn't have a TV. We started watching Hulu. She had Hulu with advertisement. I was like, you're on a private jet yesterday. You have Hulu with ads? It was so crazy.
Oh my God. Wait, what?
Yeah.
How old was this girl?
She's like 20. Have you heard of hot girl privilege?
No.
Okay, so I have straight white male privilege. So I'm like up here. I got like pretty good privilege. You know? And I'm a Pisces, so I'm like, right. I'm like even higher, you know what I mean? The only thing that can beat me is hot girl privilege. Y'all have up here. Like, okay. Do you believe in manifestation?
Of course. Manifested everything in my life.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. But what's like the last thing you manifested?
Well, that has come true or it's about to come true. Well, I don't like to tell things that are about to come true. So probably I manifested working with the NFL.
Oh, yeah. I saw you're with the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah. So I manifested like all the great things that have happened this year.
So how does this work? So are you in your bedroom every morning? Chargers, visualization. You put like notes on in your mirror.
So I usually do my vision board, and all I do is I pray. I remind God because he already knows what I want. So I just remind him just to take a less longer than what he's planning on taking.
Interesting.
Because I know I'm going to get it at some point. But, you know, God's timing is different than my timing. So I always have to ask for faster.
Interesting.
That's how I do it, yeah.
So what I've found is typically there's 3 different forms, ways to manifest, right? Here's how hot girls manifest, right? I've seen hot girls do this shit over and over. It's crazy. They go like this.
I want to know.
Private jet, private jet, private jet. And then they DM one guy. Hey, I'm hot. Take me on your jet. Boom. Private jet manifestation. The universe drops it in their lap, right? And then there's a second way to manifest. This is how guys manifest, right? We go like this. Private jet, private jet, private jet. And then we wake up at 6 a.m. for the next 20 years of our life and work on our business and sacrifice everything in our lives, sacrifice our marriage, our relationships until we finally have enough money where we can buy a private jet. That's how guys manifest things.
And it comes with a hot girl, by the way.
And it comes with a hot girl. Yeah. After your 3rd divorce, then it comes with a hot girl. Yeah. And then there's the third way of manifestation. Not a lot of people know this. This is how ugly girls can manifest. They go like this. Private jet, private jet, private jet. And then they look at their hot friend and they go, please tell the rich guy to let me come too.
And a +1.
And I don't even know if it works. I've never actually seen it work. This is just my theory. It's like, you know, Sasquatch, like Bigfoot?
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know if it's real. Legend is it's real. Like, you know, you see pictures. It's like blurry footage. Is that a tree or is that Bigfoot? I don't know. That's like ugly girls on private jets. It's like, I don't know if it exists. People say it does. Sometimes like a hot girl will be taking a selfie and like in the background, you're like, is that an ugly girl or just a hot girl with no makeup on? Like, I can't tell. It's like blurry, you know what I mean?
It is real. It is real. It also depends on how hot the friend is. You know?
That's true. That is true. That is true.
You know,
like, are you like a 6 or are you like a 3? You know what I mean? And not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad. I'm not saying anything. Like, I don't think there's even like ugly girls. I just think like, you know.
You don't think there's ugly girls?
No, I just think like,
you think there's ugly guys?
I just think there's not like ugly people. There's always like room for improvement.
Oh no, there's like people beautiful on the inside.
Yeah, completely. But I think like even if you think you're ugly, there's like Botox. There's so many things that you can do to yourself.
You're like, there's surgery. You can fix this problem.
There's everything.
Like, it's not that hard.
If you don't feel, it's not all about like the outside, but let's be real. People care about the outside.
100%.
Duh. I'm not gonna try to tell you, but you're already beautiful inside. And if you don't feel that beautiful outside, even though you love yourself, do whatever you feel like doing normally. If it makes you feel better, I'm not against it.
But here's the problem. The problem is female motivational videos on TikTok. It's destroying Western civilization as we know it. Because what happens is back in the day, right?
Yeah.
People were just honest with each other. If your friend's fat, you'd be like, yo, like you really should like I care about you. I care about your health.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's not go to McDonald's today. Let's go to Sweet Green. Let's grab salads
Let's work
together.
out.
Like, yeah, let's go to the gym together. You know what I mean? Nowadays, if you go on TikTok, every video is, if you're a girl, right, is just like, slay, queen. You're great just the way you are, queen. Don't go to the gym. Just eat your queen-size bag of Doritos. You're great just the way you are, right? So now we have girls who are 5s, but they think they're 10s, and they don't want to work their way up to 10 because they already think they're a 10, right? It's like the movie, the movie where the dog thinks he's a bird and he keeps trying to fly.
Yeah.
And the family has to like stop him from jumping out the window and killing himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now all these like girls think they're so hot, and they want to date these like guys who are like NBA players and shit. And then the problem is they're just gonna be alone forever because there's all these 5 guys who would be perfect matches for them, but they're not even looking at them because they're like, I'm a bad slay queen, I'm a 10, and they just go after these like billionaire guys. I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen?
That's crazy because I always say like, that is slay and feel great 100%, like do it. But if you were to take that away, how happy are you in giving your 100% of yourself? Like, are you giving your 100% of yourself eating healthy because you want to live longer? Are you giving 100% of yourself taking care of your body outside because you have to take care of your body outside as much as you take care of inside, So it's like if you take that sly and feel it's like put it in a truth or false. How good is your body? Like science, So that's how I take it because then I don't want like, people, you're influencing on it. No, I always say, what? Do whatever it makes you feel better. And I know everybody wants to look better. If you ask someone, do you want to look better than that? Oh, hell yeah, I do. Like, I don't want wrinkles and shit. Like, I want to, like, look beautiful all the time. It's normal. It doesn't make me a narcissist. I just, like, love looking good. And I want everybody around me to look good, too. Why not, But it's just, like, a mentality, You could always be better.
And that's, like, even going back to the whole, like, therapy thing before. I just feel like people are nice, like, oh, we need to, like, spread mental health awareness. And I'm like, I think we have a little too much awareness for mental health and not enough just like fix your life. Like, okay, so I had a bad experience with therapy one time. So there was this girl that I was seeing. She like did OnlyFans. It was like one of those. By the way, what's your opinion on the whole OnlyFans thing?
I respect it. I think one of the things, like my opinion in all the things that I see around me, it's like, as long as it makes you happy, because I make my own decisions. Would I do it? No.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
But you respect it.
I completely respect it. And I have my friends that are doing great in it. And I'm like,
bank.
Do it, girl.
Yeah.
Cheer for you. 100%, Why not?
That's good you say that because it was so interesting because I always thought guys would be judgmental and girls would be like you, like, yeah, like do your thing, like make your money, blah, blah, blah. But most guys were chill about it. But girls, like when they met her and like found out that she did OnlyFans would be like very like judgmental, which was like weird to me. One girl literally, I couldn't believe it. She said to her face, she was like, I would never do OnlyFans because I'm not a slut.
Oh my God.
And I was like, first of all, you're like a 5. You look like a bowling ball stacked on top of an exercise ball with 2 shoes at the bottom. Trust me, you're in no danger of starting an OnlyFans. OnlyFans does not want you. Second of all, don't judge somebody because they're living their life and you're living your life.
Exactly.
You know? And I think it was probably a jealousy thing, to be honest.
I do think, and there's so many girls that are sluts and don't make
money off it. It's like, at least make money.
Don't make money out of it. So I'm like, you have poor slut. If you at least open a
You're like, you're just the broke OnlyFans girls, but you are pretty much.
The other one is a smart one. She has an OnlyFans, and then if you're a slut or not, that's nobody's business.
I agree. But okay, so back to the story. So this girl, every Wednesday, she would just be mad at me for no reason. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time, but I'm like Sherlock Holmes. I'm like, put the clues.
Every Wednesday.
And I figured out every Wednesday, she would go to therapy, right? And her therapist would dredge up all this stuff from her past. Oh, your mom put your sister's spelling test on the fridge. She didn't put your spelling test. That's why you have trauma. And she'd be all like mad, right? And this happened for 6 months. She never got less anxiety. And I was like, okay, I have 0 degree in therapy. I have 0 experience in therapy. I can tell you 100% why she had anxiety, because every morning she wakes up, she takes her vape in one hand, she takes her phone in the other hand, and she puts TikTok 2 inches from her eyeballs while she's sucking in nicotine like it's oxygen for 3 hours every morning.
Oh my God.
That's why you have anxiety. It's not because your mom didn't put the spelling test in the fridge, blah, 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 blah. So I tell her this, and she gets kind of mad, right? So the next week she's like, Zach, my therapist wants you to come to our next session.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what did I get myself into, right? So I go into this therapist's office. And right away, the therapist is like kind of giving me the side eye, right? And the entire therapy session, this therapist is just berating me. And you're the reason she's toxic. It's because you're blah, blah, blah. You're toxic yourself. You're the reason for anxiety. And halfway through, you know what I realized? Because I'm a Sherlock Holmes. Clues, right? I was like, this dude is trying to steal my girl. So I stormed out of the thing, right? And I'm like, this shit. I storm out halfway through. She comes running after me. She's like, what, Zach? I'm like, yo, this guy's trying to you. What do you mean? I'm like, your therapist is obviously trying to hook up with you. She's like, Zach, first of all, it's not my therapist. It's my energy healer. And I was like, it's not even a real therapist?
Energy healer?
I'm like, what the fuck is an energy healer? What are your credentials? Like, what do you climb on top of a mountain? You get struck by lightning. Now you're an energy healer? Get the fuck out of here. So.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't last much longer after that.
Of course it did not.
But after that, I found a new form of therapy that works really well for me. It's free. It takes about 3 minutes of your time. All you need is a mirror, right? It could be bedroom mirror, bathroom mirror, living room mirror. So what I do is you go into the mirror, you look deep into your own eyes, and then you take your emotions and you stuff them deep down in your psyche where they belong. And you man up and fix the problem. It works every single time. It's free. No therapist needed.
Totally. You know what? You should teach that and charge for it, because people like paying for shit. So.
I should.
And call yourself an energy survivor or something.
A survivor. Hashtag I survived.
You
Hashtag
survived.
me too.
No, seriously. I'm like, those like all the therapists and everything. I mean, my brothers, I respect them. My brothers go to therapy. And I always say, well, you need therapy, you could call me. It's like, you're not a therapist. And I was like, but I've lived life. And I was like, okay, we cannot. We started really bad.
And like, that's the thing. Okay, I understand if you're a guy, you went to war, your best friend died right beside you. Like you're constantly worried about bombs blowing up. Now you come home, there's no problem to fix, right? The
PTSD.
problem is over. We won the war, whatever. And you have anxiety. Okay, go see a therapist. I understand that. But when it's just like, yeah, I grew up in this like above middle class household, and like I'm mad because like my dad never said I love you when I was little. I'm just like, bro, you need to like man up. Like your best form of therapy is like man the fuck up, you know?
Yeah, and those are things you eventually heal. I think like spirituality is super important, you know? It's like, you know, the moment that you have like personally, you don't need like someone to guide you through it, but it's like your time. Like I'm Christian, so I have like a very spirituality side to me. And what have helped me, because I have a crazy career, crazy people around me.
I'm sure.
Going up and down. And people tell me, like, how do you do it? You're like traveling every weekend out of the country, doing this and that. And how do you have so much energy? And I was like, well, one of the things that keeps me grounded, besides my family, it's my relationship with God and my relationship with myself and with others. So I split them all, and I try to make sure that they're all in a well balance. If I'm having problems with my family, there's something off, and everything else is gonna go bad. So I have to go fix that, whoever I'm mad, and then get back. If something is not going good in my career, I have to understand that it's part of it. There's like so many things. It's just understanding and the perspective, because things are always gonna go wrong at some point. You just have to deal with it and know what angle are you gonna take it.
We had one girl on the podcast like weeks ago, and she had this whole issue. She was like, Zach, I can't believe it's a blue moon or it's a full moon, or I don't know, some like horoscope kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she had this whole story where like her car like stopped working, and then she had to like, someone stopped, they couldn't help her, and then she had like walk to the gas station, like all this stuff. And the reason her car like broke down is because it ran out of gas, because she didn't have enough gas in her car. And I'm like, you're blaming the moon for not putting gas in your car? Like, it's not working because there's no gas, not because Mercury is in retrograde. Like but people believe this shit. It's crazy.
Because you always want to have fun. It makes you feel good. Blaming something or someone. It makes you feel good, right? It's like Mercury retrograde, this and that, the signs, the moon, and all this. And I'm like, no, it's you. Just deal with it. And it could be the best thing could have happened to her at that moment. She could have gotten in an accident. It could have been way worse, That's my perspective in life. I'm like, every time something goes wrong, that is like, sometimes it's like, oh shit, like I could have been somewhere else, that this bad shit could have happened to me, but it did not. So this is the best thing could have happened to me right now.
Interesting.
So thank you. That's why like it's makes me live a little bit more happier and comfortable with everything. It's
like a mental strategy you use to come through hard times, get through hard times. Absolutely.
I think that it's one of the things that like helps a lot, because I've met a lot of people throughout my life, and there's so many people that I look around and I'm like, I can't believe there's so many bad things could happen to one person. Have you ever met someone like that?
All the time. And I'm like, what is bad luck, or is it just like you're putting yourself in bad situations because you're not putting in the work and the due diligence to put yourself in better situations?
Yeah, I always, and it has been kind of like, because I try to figure out and see how can I help, right? How can I help this person that not so many bad things could happen? And I always go back to the mentality, right? It's like, it's not that you have bad luck, because we all live in the same world.
Yeah.
We all cross the same street. We all drive through the same freeway. And unfortunately, some people get in accidents. You know what I mean? So it's always your perception, your mentality, and, and your spirituality. And there's so many things that, if you don't really put your heart in the bad things that are happening and see them as bad things, good things start happening. Because those bad things will not be bad anymore.
But it's interesting you say that, because like you're obviously very successful, DJ for the Chargers, great violinist, like worked your way up. And it's crazy. I can see how it happened, because probably growing up in Colombia, you were taught basic hard work and basic discipline and things like that. Where nowadays, like a lot of girls, if they're attractive and they grow up in America, everything's just given to them. Oh, they're 16. Here, free dinners, free bottle service, free blah, 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 blah. Like literally at like 16, they're not even like legal to like drink yet. And like still people are like flying them out, and like it's crazy. You know what I mean? They never learn that side. How did you kind of like dodge that trap and like?
I think just like going through so many episodes in my life with my family. My mom and my dad were super strict. Okay? Christian, super strict growing up. But they always treated me as an adult. So I always knew what was going on in the household. If it was like something going bad in my dad's work, my mom would sit me down and she would be, this is going on in your dad's work, and this is happening. We had to move out of Colombia as a political asylum. So one day my mom took me to the room and called me, and she's like, you know what? They want to kill your father. And they want to kill all of us. So you know what we have to do? We have to move out in 2 weeks. So pack up everything and say bye to everybody. And this is the plan. So that's how I was brought up. So seeing the situation and the things as they are, not sugar-coated, were kind of the things that taught me and helped me, like, okay, this is the real shit. Like, things are not gonna go right. You have to figure out your way, manage whatever it is. People are not gonna be nice all the time. My family wanted to get killed. It was the worst thing that could happen, in your own country. So you have to move and come to this country. So coming here and the whole thing, it's like, it made me like tough skin, and growing up and seeing that my mom and my father were, in situations with other family members where they were like, when people belittle you and stuff. So in my mom was very fragile, and I would always see those things in fights and stuff. I was like, I never want to be soft, So it taught me to like man up as a woman, and deal with it. And I always say, like, whatever is gonna take me, because as a violinist, as a musician, everybody will say like, oh, you're gonna be broke. Good luck.
That's what people told me too, playing piano. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like, good luck, honey.
Like, fuck that shit.
I know, you're gonna be playing at the bar in the corner your whole life, And I'm like, really?
You're like, watch me. Let's fucking go.
Watch me. I'm like, seriously? It was like, it's not revenge, but it just makes you feel better when you prove people wrong. Because there's so many people that are always going to think you are not good enough, As long as you never let that affect you. Even though it did a couple of times, But one time that really like made me super tough was I was in a relationship, and I remember sitting down with the whole family of my partner at that time. And I looked at the Grammys, and I said, oh my God, one day I'm gonna win a Grammy, like this, happy and hopeful. And they all looked at each other and they started laughing.
Damn.
Oh my God. Of course I broke up with him, obviously. And then I was like, you know what? These people don't think I'm capable of doing this. Watch me prove them wrong. And, now I am on my way there. But, You're
like 5-year plan. It's coming.
Definitely. But yeah, situations.
No, it's funny you say that. That's like the exact same motivation that I had when I started, because I make most of my money off a piano YouTube channel.
Nice.
That I run. Yeah.
We have to do something.
Let's do it. Let's collaborate. Yeah. But my main motivation came. Okay, so when I was in high school, I was the biggest simp loser guy. My family was poor. We didn't have money. I didn't know how to dress, bad haircut, right? Didn't know how to talk to girls, right? So finally, my junior year, there's this girl that liked me, and I was pumped. I was just like, I'm so happy. I just have a girlfriend that I actually, loves me, blah, blah, blah. So every Monday, this is going to make you cringe. This is how simpy I was. I would drive to the Walmart between our houses. I'd wake up at 6 a.m., drive to the Walmart. I'd pick up a package of the purple Skittles, because she liked the purple bag. That was her favorite kind. And some flowers. And I'd write her a little note. And I would just leave it on her doorstep. So she would open the door and be surprised. Real simp shit, like the simpiest of shit.
That's beautiful. That doesn't exist anymore.
No, that got beat out of me. But then, so 3.5 years later, right, I'm always the perfect boyfriend, always getting her flowers, blah, blah. My friend comes up to me, and he's like, yo, Zach, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I was at a party last night, and I saw Julie go into one of the bedrooms with another guy for 30 minutes. They both came out. Everybody's saying they hooked up, right? I'm like, no, she would never do that to me. We're in love. She's my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. So I go confront her about it. And she literally just admits it in the most nonchalant way. She's just like, yeah. I'm here bawling my eyes out. I'm like, what the And the worst part, the guy she cheated on me with was the guy she would always complain about. He's an asshole. He's hooking up with 2 of my friends at the same time and not telling them, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you hooked up with this over me? And I still remember the last thing I said to her. I was like, Julie, I was the best boyfriend to you. I would do anything to make you happy. I just want to know why. And she literally went like this. She shrugged her shoulders like this. And she goes, I just got bored. And that moment, I was like, this shit, I will never be this guy again. And every day since then, I woke up at 6 a.m. and every single fucking day I stopped partying. I stopped all this shit. I was like, fuck this. I'm going to prove you wrong. Work the next 8 years of my life. Finally, the YouTube channel blows up. Finally, I'm successful, right? So then I go find her on Instagram. I haven't talked to her. Literally 0 words, 0 exchange. Go find her on Instagram. Go follow her, right? She follows me back. So then I'm in LA. Now I live in this beautiful house. I have this like nice ass car. I'm in like, so I take all these stories of my car, my mansion. I'm at this mansion party in Malibu with like all these models, right? I'm taking videos with the models, blah, blah, blah. The next day, she unfollows me. So I'm like, I know it bothered her, right?
Payback.
So then I went to Walmart the next morning. I got a package of purple Skittles. I took a picture. I DM'd her the picture. And then underneath I put, thank you for making me the man that I am today.
Wow.
And then under I put, so I can get girls who are way hotter than you, fire emoji. And that was the greatest fucking moment of my life. This is the reason I don't need therapy, because that moment, all my trauma left me and I was like, fuck everybody.
Absolutely. Wow. That is a great story.
I know.
Wow. She probably hates Skittles.
She hates them now. I ruined her love for purple Skittles. She's probably eating Starburst like a simp.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's always that one thing or whatever situation that always like triggers you for good or for bad. Because it could have gone like both ways, you know? Mm-hmm. But your perception was like what made you like better.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm glad I didn't grow up rich. I feel like if I would have grown up rich, it was like, it's not the same. You don't have that fire. You
Totally.
know what I mean? Like you had to like go through hardship. That's why you like are successful, because you had to like figure it out and like figure out discipline and all this stuff that like made you like the way you are.
Totally. But okay, my question now, because obviously the next generation, like our kids are not gonna grow poor, right? Because we were successful and everything. So it's like keeping them and teaching them what we were taught without being in that situation.
When they have money, because
when they have money, right?
So it's like, yeah.
That's like gonna be like not a child, but I've been thinking about it and everything, because eventually when I want to have kids, I want to make sure they learn what I learn, you know, in a very, you know, in a good way, that it's real, you know, but still they have access to the things that they need, you know.
So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What's your plan?
Well, actually, I do have a plan. I said I'm going to teach my kids that they have to earn things, right? So they already have it. So if they want whatever, toy, whatever, I will buy the toys and everything. I will say, okay, it is there. You have to unlock it. So for you to unlock that, you have to do X, Y, and Z.
Interesting.
For you to do this. So it's like you are in a place where you could have it all. But for you to be able to get anything, you have to earn it. You have to feel that it took you something you gave up something to gain something. So that's gonna be the way of teaching them.
Interesting.
Whatever it is, since very little.
You're sure you want kids?
Eventually.
Okay.
In the future, yeah. I was like, I didn't want any kids. I was like, oh, how am I gonna bring any kids to this world? But I was like, who's gonna take care of me?
You're like, when I'm old, you motherfuckers better be at my bedside.
I was like, I don't want to be in assisted living. I was like, I wanted, a good daughter and son to take me around the world. So I have to give birth.
Yeah, God damn it, now I gotta give birth. You can do in vitro or something.
Whatever it is, however it is. But definitely,
That is a good point. I'm pretty like torn on the kids thing.
Why?
So I used to think I wanted kids. And then I had a bad experience with a grass hill in Wisconsin. And I'm not so sure. So we're at this like cookout, right? Uh-huh. And we're all having fun, like family, friends, blah, blah, blah. And there's this young couple, like 25, 26, very young. They have these two little kids. They're like 5 years old or something. What these kids are doing, they're going to this grass hill next to the thing. And they're walking up the hill. And they're going like a hot dog and like rolling down the hill like a hot dog, right? So then they're like, Daddy, come roll with us, right? So then the dad, what he was doing, he would go to the hill. He'd walk up. He'd go like a hot dog. Roll down the hill like a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
For 3.5 hours. This grown man, he has a job. He has a 401k. Like, this guy is like responsible. And he's rolling down the hill like a hot dog for 3 hours. And I'm like, you know what the worst part was? He comes back. I'm like, yo, like, come like join us. Have some fun, right? He goes like this. He looks at me. He goes, happy wife, happy life. But the way he said it, was like he had a gun to his head. Like he was like fucking kidnapped. And he was like, happy wife, happy life. I have to say this. Like, this is my life now. It is what it is.
Oh, shit.
And that shit scared me. Like, that shit really scared me.
Wait, but do you agree? The happy wife, happy life?
No.
Good.
It's like, what about, it's called self-esteem. Like, you have to be happy too. Like, you both have to be happy.
You both have to be happy. Absolutely, yes. That's why marriages don't work sometimes. It's not all about the wife. It's also about the husband. Like, I have to care what my husband wants and what makes him happy. If I don't care, someone else is going to care. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. Mm-hmm. So, you have to be happy with each other and, try to keep each other happy because, you never know. Yeah.
How is your husband okay with like everything? I'm sure you're at the DJ booth and blah, 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 like all this stuff, like.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, he gets on the DJ booth sometimes when he drinks a little bit too much.
Gotcha.
And he goes like this.
Because I'm sure dating like an influencer like probably has challenges. You have to be very confident in yourself, very secure, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's super confident. He like definitely does not like, he's like the complete opposite. He wants me to shine like a star. And that's what I love. He embraces that about me.
That's perfect. You found someone who supports you.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. And supports me and it's like by my side and helps me with whatever I need, So, and vice versa. Yeah. So it works out.
Awesome. Well, we are over the hour mark. This has been very fun.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody where to find you? Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you want direct people to.
Zach, thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time talking to you about things that I didn't talk to a lot of people before, okay? But you guys could find me. I'm Esther Anaya. You guys could find me on Instagram, Spotify, listen to my music, TikTok as Esther Anaya, ESTHERANAYA, and find me on YouTube on any of your favorite platforms.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much and take care, y'all.